He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradaite Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanyaya Namne Gauratushe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare Hare. Okay, Hare Krishna, welcome all. So you're all doing good?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, so let's continue. Today we'll finish this pastimes connected to Mahaprabhu's query. Next chapter we'll discuss the completion of or the deliverance of King Prataprutra. Okay. 157. Now, which we have to read? We have to read I wish to protect them. Now, this is done. Okay, this is 159 has to be read, I think so. Krishna became very anxious to return alone. He made her listen. Okay, yeah. 159. Can we start reading?
Yes, Prabhu. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 13, verse number 159. Eta tanreka hi Krishna, Raje aitas satstranam, eka sloka padi sunaila, sei sloka suni Ratha, kandila sakala bhatha, Krishna prapte pratiti haila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. While speaking to Srimati Radharani, Krishna became very anxious to return to Vrindavana. He made her listen to a verse which banished all her difficulties and which assured her that she would again attain Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. 160.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu. We have to read from text 157, Prabhu. Last time we stopped at 156.
No.
57.
No, 57, 58 we read. You're loving to attract me. You come back in 10, 20 days. He said no. I remember this. My royal position. Okay, we'll finish this verse and we'll just read that again. No problem. Well, now Krishna is going to say that verse, which will soothe Radharani's mood. Now Radharani is her anxiety levels are very high. She's also chastising Krishna for his behavior, and she's telling how you have left everyone in sadness and darkness. So all that accusation she made, now that seemed to trigger Krishna and say, okay, he became anxious to return to Vrindavan. Okay, let's read 160. That's the sloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Text 160. Mai bhaktir hi bhutanam amrit tattvaya kalpate dishtya yad asin mat sneho bhavati nam mad apanaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shri Krishna said, devotional service unto me is the only way to attain me. My dear gopis, whatever love and affection you have attained for me by good fortune is the only reason for my returning to you. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.82.44.
Okay, so what does this conclude?
The love of gopis is bringing him back to Vrindavana.
Okay. What does it mean in our day-to-day life?
that we also should be so dedicated and should have developed the love to Krishna so that he will come back to us, Prabhu.
So while you perform your daily devotion services,
Yeah.
and while you perform your other services in, the Yatra or temple or wherever it may be,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
that devotion, that expression of love is what will attract Krishna at any point in time, right? One may do lot of work, in the moment, but he feels it's a burden. Oh, I am doing this. Oh, I am doing that. Right? So once with one of the Maharaj, we asked this question. You're saying one who's always, near you, thinking of you. Okay, let's rewind back. Before asking this Maharaj, let's understand what Prabhupada said. Now, Prabhupada had certain issues. What was it? Prabhupada was not good at English, right? So what is that he was not good at English? You look at the English of Bhaktivinoda Thakura, look at the English of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prabhupada English was not that good. Okay. Now, Prabhupada led a family life and then was trying to do business for many years. And then he came to Krishna consciousness, right? So now, if you look at all these attributes, so people sometimes question, was Prabhupada, what is the conclusion that one can be called fully Krishna conscious? Prabhupada's answer was very simple. He said, if one is able to remember Krishna at all times, then he is considered to be a pure devotee. So remembering Krishna is the key. You may perform Chaturmasya, you may not perform Chaturmasya. You may perform some activities to fast for acharyas and things like that. You may follow Ekadasi, not follow Ekadasi. None of these things really matter. If your activity is making you to remember Krishna, that activity is called Uttama. Or that activity is called Uttama Bhakti. If your activity is not remembering Krishna, then it will just become a burden. See, I'm doing so much of austerity. What's the use? Not getting anything out of it. This is what we have to understand. In the 4th chapter also what we read? We read, remember the example we gave? Someone doing activity from morning till night, a lot of work he did, but he is getting no pay. So like that, our activity must lead to remember Krishna. So this is most important to understand. Now, if we are practicing devotion, and devotion means, just to understand in simple terms. Let's take a temple pujari. This is the question that we asked this sannyasi. Temple pujari. So temple pujari, he has learned, he will be Brahminical initiated, because without Brahminical initiation, that means he can't enter temple. Brahminical initiation means he has learned Shastra very well. Okay. Second, he has completely renounced. He is in the temple, no family, nothing. Simple life he's got. Nothing else, right? Gets up in the morning, does temple service, go to sleep. Nothing else he does. He's always with the deities. That means he's maintaining his purity to the best possible extent. Okay. Now, can we say he is most eligible to become liberated or go back to home, back to Godhead? Or I said, may not be. It is not so. Why? If you are in the temple service and you keep looking at others, oh, look at these people, they come in nice cars, they're leading that life, they are able to travel anywhere they want. Look at that life, look at my life. But he does Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. That is one aspect. Another aspect is, oh my Lord, please give me liberation. Please give me liberation. He'll keep telling that and do temple services. Now, I'll give you an example, another example. Now, there is a devotee in our temple who's quite experienced. Now, this devotee, all the time, he's asking the management, Prabhuji, please recommend me for a temple in USA. 1 second. Huh, Baba? Oh, you will late, actually. Okay. Okay, come home. I'll wait for you. Sir, okay, no problem. Sir, okay, carry on. No problem. What to do? We have to accommodate everything. Sorry, I'm in class now. I will talk to you later on. But whatever decision you take is fine with me. Okay? Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, call. So, the pujari is in front of the deity. He's always doing deity-related services. He's offering bhoga. He's eating prasadam. He's doing everything. Now, this devotee is now always asking us, oh, please, Prabhuji, please get me passport, get me visa. I want to go to America. I want to serve in the temple. I said, why you want to go to America to serve temple? It's the same Krishna, no? Wherever it is. No, I want to go to America. You see, I mean, I'm just bewildered with the consciousness of this pujari. It's so much, I want to go to, whatever gyan you give him. Prabhu will give you good salary. Here you can serve. Congregation is growing. Everything is nice, no, here. Yes, Prabhuji, everything is nice. A good temple, but I want to go to America. Now, in American region, what's happening? They are want more pujaris because there are a shortage in those temples to maintain them. So he's seeing that opportunity. He wants to go there. Now, you tell me, what is the consciousness of such a pujari? Haribol?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, does he want to make more money, Prabhu?
Something, right? So, you see it is contradicting to what Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is saying what? Do any activity you want. But that result of that activity is your ability to remember Krishna should keep on being increasing. And he says that is a sign of a perfection of devotion or a pure devotee. Right? So now, what does that pure devotee lead to? Pure devotion will lead to attracting the Lord to you rather than you getting attracted to the Lord and going. Now you see the difference. Huh? When your activities are so wonderful, devotional activities, the Lord gets attracted and sees them. Lord comes in search of you based on your activity and your consciousness. Contradictory, yes, somehow I want to reach this planet of the Lord. Somehow I want to come. Somehow you take me, please. You see the difference between these two consciousness. Here, the gopis' consciousness is so wonderful. Krishna is saying, it is the love that I'll just come to see. Are you getting the difference?
Yes, please, Prabhu.
How come today all of you silent?
No, Prabhu.
Very long and a tough day.
No.
Okay, good. So that's the point I'm trying to address here. Okay, 61, yeah, please read.
Hare Krishna, text 161. Ye sabha artha prabhu swarupe rasane ratri dine gare vasi kare aswadane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would sit in his room with Swarup Damodara and taste the topics of these verses day and night. Hare Krishna.
That is the next part of the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Okay, he's tasting Krishna now. Okay, 162.
Hare Krishna. Nritya kale sai bhave avistahana Sloka Palina Nase Jagannatha Mukhachana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced completely, absorbed in ecstatic emotion. While looking at the face of the Lord Jagannatha, he danced and recited these verses. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari Hari. So he's saying, okay, you'll be in jubilation if you're able to understand this verse. And this Mahaprabhu is trying to teach us through this verse. Okay, 163.
I'll read, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Swarupa Gosaira Bhagya Naya
Gosanira. Gosanira.
Gosanira. Swarupa Gosanira Bhagya Naya Varnana Prabhute Avista Yandra Kaya Vakya Mana. Translation. No one can describe the good fortune of Swarupa Damodara Goswami, for he is always absorbed in the service of the Lord with his body, mind, and works. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. 164.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, text 164. Swarupera Indriya Prabhura Nijendriya Gana Avishtahana Kare Gana Aswadana. Translation: the senses of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were identical with the senses of Swarupa. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to become fully absorbed in tasting the singing of Swarupa Damodara. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Look at this meaning. The senses of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are identical with the senses of Swarup. Swarup Damodar. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to become fully absorbed in tasting the singing of Swarup Damodar. So what does it say? It says that we are qualitatively one and the same. And all our senses are none other than Govinda. Right? So hence he's able to relate it.
But Prabhu, all our senses are none other than
Govinda, no? Govinda means
Govinda.
senses, right? 165.
165. Bhavera avesha kabu bhumite vashiya tachanite bhumelike adho mukhahana. In emotional ecstasy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would sometimes sit on the ground and looking down would write on the ground with his finger. Hare Krishna.
Okay, 166. Angulite Shatanabe Jani Damodara Pai Nije Kare Niva Raye Prabhu Kara. Fearing that the Lord would injure his finger by writing in this way, Surdama checked him with his own hands. So what was Lord doing? What was the Lord doing?
He was writing on the ground.
writing on the ground with his finger.
With his finger, yeah. So immediately he became very anxious. Oh, if you write with your finger, you might damage your finger. Your skin will peel off.
Yeah, doctor.
Mute చేసుకోండి ఎవరైతేను. Sorry. 167, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. 160, text 167. Prabhura bhavanu rupa swarupa ragana yabe yeira sataha kare murti mana. Swarupa Damodara used to sing exactly according to the ecstatic emotion of the Lord. Whenever a particular melody was being tasted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarupa Damodara would personify
by singing.
Personify it by singing. Hare Krishna.
See, మీరు ఒక పిక్చర్ చూసారు, ఒక చిత్రం చూసారు. చిత్రం చూసేసి ఎంత బాగుంది అనేసి మీరు దాంట్లో వర్ణిస్తే పాట పాడతారు కదా, అదేలాగా. Okay, so melo means ఒక రస. So one rasa was tasted, and immediately based on that rasa, he composed a song and he sang. That's what this means. Okay, 168.
Text 168.
श्री जगन्नाथ तेरा देखे श्रीमुख कमला ताहरा उपरा सुंदरा नयना युगला. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked upon the beautiful lotus-like face and eyes of Lord Jagannatha.
Lord Jagannath. Okay. 69.
Hare Krishna, text 13.69.
किरणका करे झलमला माल्य वस्त्र दिव्य अलंकार परिमल. Lord Jagannath was garlanded, dressed with nice garments and adorned with beautiful ornaments. His face was glittering from the rays of sunshine, and the entire atmosphere was fragrant. Hare Krishna.
Hari. Okay. 170.
Hare Krishna, text 13.170. Prabhura Hridaye Ananta Sindhu Uttalila
Unmada Janja.
Mata Janjiha Vata Tatshine Uttila Tatshane Uttila. An ocean of transcendental bliss expanded in the heart of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and symptoms of madness immediately intensified like a
Hurricane.
hurricane means something.
புயல்.
Okay, Prabhupada.
ஸோ உங்க பைத்தியம் வந்து புயல் வந்து அடிச்சா எப்படி இருக்கும் அது மாதிரி
Okay,
தீவிரமான
Prabhupada.
பைத்தியம்.
Okay, Prabhupada. Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Okay, 171.
Hare Krishna. Text 171. Anandonmate uttaya bhave rataranga nana bhava saine upajila uttaranga. Translation: The madness of transcendental bliss created waves of various emotions. The emotions appeared like opposing soldiers staging a fight. Hare Krishna.
You are able to understand this?
Yes, Prabhu.
No,
Okay.
Prabhu, can you just explain?
See, in a war, what happens? There are two sets of soldiers, and both are going to be opposing to each other, correct?
Mm.
But at the end of the day, both are soldiers fighting the same war. So similarly, Mahaprabhu is developing these emotions. So many emotions are coming. Some of them are against each other. So it is like these emotions, one emotion is opposing another emotion. It's not that good or bad, but it is just that like paradoxical. It's like opposing each other. So like that, it says, giving the example of a soldier. Both are soldiers, they're just opposing to fight in the opposite direction, like that. So this tells what happens. So when does this happen? When does emotions conflict? Now, for example, you are suddenly getting an emotion to cry based on certain reasons. Just crying, sobbing, and the tears are coming out. And in that crying, you suddenly start to laugh. Right? You're wondering, hey, crying means sadness, laughing means happiness. How come these two emotions are mixed and they're now coming together in one scenario? How is it possible? There's no scenario like that, correct? Would you understand?
Yes.
So while crying, he laughs. So like that, his emotions are mixed, and then he is demonstrating all kinds of Mahaprabhu. That's what it means. Okay, 172.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, text Shloka 172. Bhavodhaya bhava shanti sandhi sabhalya sanchari satvika sthai swabhava prabalya. There were an increase in all the natural emotional symptoms. Thus there were awakening emotions, peacefulness, joined, mixed, transcendental and prevalent emotions, and impetuses for emotion.
Okay. So 173.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Text 13.173. Prabhura Sharira Yena Shuddha Yema Chala Bhava Pushpa Dhruma Tahe Pushpita Sakala. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body appeared like a transcendental Himalayan mountain bearing ecstatic emotional flower trees all of them blooming. Hare Krishna.
So it's like a factory now. Huh? It is like a factory that so much of emotions, it's just waiting to erupt. That's what it says. No? In the previous verse also it says, no? See, awakening emotions, peacefulness, joint, mixed, transcendental, and relevant emotions, and impetuses for emotion. That means, impetus means something which is like generating to come out. For example, hey, he has an impetus to always write. That means he always has that that encouragement or that push or that fervor to write. That's what it means. So it means these impetus were just, emotions were just coming up and then they're wanting to come out like that. Third says transcendental Himalayan mountain. These emotions are so massive in size. Okay, 74. Yeah, all have read.
Dekite akarshaya sabara chittamana premamruta bruste prabhu sinche sabara mana. Translation: the sight of all these symptoms attracted everyone's mind and consciousness. Indeed, the Lord sprinkled everyone's mind with the nectar of transcendental love of God.
See, now everyone got transcendental love about it. So now you may be wondering, how is that if I stand in front of the deities I may get? How is that if I'm with a pure devotee that I get the love of Godhead? So this is a classical example. So Lord's emotions, the emotion of love of Godhead is so intense that it's just erupting like a mountain. And it's coming out in large quantities. And then what Mahaprabhu is doing, whoever is in the vicinity, whoever is seeing it, he's just pouring that eruption onto them. And they all get same love of Godhead. So that's how love of Godhead comes. Right? So now you can understand, hey, what does it mean to be associating the pure devotee? Okay, 175.
Hare Krishna. Jagannatha Sevaka Yata Raja Patra Gana Yatrika Loka Nilachala Vasiyata Jana. Translation: he sprinkled the minds of the servants of Lord Jagannatha, the government officers, the pilgrim visitors, the general populace, and all the residents of Jagannath Puri. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you have to read again. Nothing came.
Prabhu, you didn't hear, Prabhu? You want me to hear from the sloka also, Prabhu?
Did everyone hear?
Yes, Prabhu, we heard.
Yes, Prabhu.
Then my internet is a problem. Okay.
I'll read once again, Prabhu, if you want.
Read the purport. Yeah.
Okay. Translation: he sprinkled the minds of the servants of Lord Jagannatha, the government officers, the pilgrim visitors, the general populace, and all the residents of Jagannatha Puri. Hare Krishna.
So you see, just by reaching that Dham, you get this benefit. So that's why people will make Dham visits so important. Now, in Nectar of Instruction, what do we hear? You say that a devotee to practice devotion service criteria. What are the criteria? He has to practice devotion in a Dham, or in a Punya Kshetra, or near a river, association of devotees, then practice devotion. Correct? So you see what happens in a Dham like this. So when you go to Ratha Yatra, you may see Lord showers his mercy on all these people. That's why it's very powerful. Yeah. 176.
Text 176. Prabhura Nritya Prema Dekihaya Chamatkara Krishna Prema Ucha Lila Rudaya Sabira. Translation: upon seeing the dancing and ecstatic love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone became astonished. In their hearts, they became infatuated with love of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
The hearts, they became infatuated with love of Krishna, nothing else. Super. 177.
Hare Krishna. Text 177. Preme nache gaya loka kare kolahala Prabhura nrutya dekhi sabe anande vihvala. Translation: everyone danced and chanted in ecstatic love, and a great noise resounded. Everyone was overwhelmed with transcendental bliss just to see the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
So wonderful. Oh. So that spiritual potency, it electrifies the entire place. It recharges everyone, and then everyone becomes completely transcendentally elevated. They all chant. Okay, 178.
178. Anneraki Kaya Jagannatha Hara Prabhura Nutya Deki Suke Chalila Mantara. Apart from the others, even Lord Jagannatha and Lord Balrama, with great happiness, began to move very slowly upon seeing the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
Only upon seeing, apart from others, Lord Jagannath and Lord Balaram, great happiness, began to move very slowly upon seeing the dancing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. So Rath, which was paused, start to move. 179.
Hare Krishna. Text 179. Kabu suke nutya ranga deki rata raki se kautuka deki sakshi. Lord Jagannatha and Lord Balrama sometimes stopped the car and happily observed Lord Chaitanya's dancing. Anyone who was able to see them stop and watch the dancing bore witness
Their
their
pastime.
pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Okay. 180.
Text 180. Yei mata prabhu nutya karite brahmite pratapa rudrera age dagila padite. When Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing and wandering in this way, he fell down in front of Maharaja Prataparudra.
Okay. That's a very sensitive point now. Okay, 181. Someone read? No? Sambrahme Pratapa Rudra Prabhu ke Darila Tanha ke dekite Prabhu Rabhaya Jana Haila. Maharaja Prataparudra picked the Lord up with great respect. But upon seeing the king, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to his external senses. So, why is Lord saying he came to his external senses? Huh? So, what happened to...
He is involved in materialistic activities, na Prabhu
Being
Maharaja.
a politician like that. So, Mahaprabhu is showing, see, once we come in association with people who are not in fully transcendental state, then what happens? Our transcendental bliss immediately goes away. And that's the point to understand, right? So, what is the proof? Sankirtan pastimes, starting of Sankirtan in Srivas Thakur's house. Every day there used to be glorious kirtan, non-stop kirtan. Mahaprabhu would just drink the nectar of Krishna, the holy name. But when a Bengali Brahmana was there inside that house, Mahaprabhu could not taste the nectar. How much ever he tried, he could not. Right? So this is another example. The consciousness of the mood changes, right? Same with Ras Leela. In Ras Leela, what happened? When Lord Shiva wanted to enter the Ras Leela, he begged to Purnamasi, and Purnamasi said, okay, I'll take you to Kusum Sarovar, I'll give you a dip. You can enter the Rasa Mandali. Even though she took a dip and then Shiva looked like a gopi now, where he's now called as Gopishwar Mahadev. So when he looked like a gopi, when he was brought into Ras Leela, what happened? Krishna could not perform his Ras Leela. He said, no, something is getting disturbed. It is not that Shiva is not a pure devotee. What it means, that mood of performing. Here also, it is not that Prataparudra is a non-devotee or anything. The mood to perform the Ras Leela gets shaken up. Why I am not able to do? So Krishna stops Ras Leela. So like that it is. Okay, so 182.
Text 182. Text 182. Raja dekhi Mahaprabhu kare na dhikara chichi vishayira sparsha haila amara. After seeing the king, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu condemned himself, saying, oh, how pitiful it is that I have touched a person who is interested in mundane affairs.
So you see this, the fate of people in mundane affairs. So which means you have to, we have to all make all efforts to get out of this material transactions. Some point in our life, and we have to have a goal. Okay, 183.
Aveshete Nityananda Nahaila Savadane.
Kashishwara Govinda Chila.
Not even Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Kashishwara or Govinda took care of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Was in great ecstasy, and Kashishwara and Govinda were elsewhere. Hare Krishna.
So in that dance time, when Mahaprabhu fell near Prataprudra, none of the other people were there. They are also in transcendental ecstasy. They were dancing, jumping, and then doing all these things.
But usually Nityananda Prabhu used to be around and used to hold him, na Prabhu.
Yeah, more than Nityananda Prabhu, Saru Damodar used to be around. He'll be always with him. Not even a fraction he will leave. So now you see this word, Savadane. Savadane means careful. Right? Where have you heard this word? Huh? No idea?
In marriages, Prabhu.
Marriages, yeah. So even the gods have realized, even the Pujari has realized, the Swamiji who is chanting the mantra, he'll say, Lakshmi, Narayana, he'll recite those verses and then he'll say, Savadana. That means, hey, getting married, be careful. He'll say Savadana so many times, no? 13.184. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, text 184. Yadyapi Raja Radeki Hadira Sevana Prasanna Hanachi Tanre Milibare Mana. Translation: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already been satisfied by the king's behavior, for the king had accepted the service of a sweeper for Lord Jagannatha. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually desired to see the king. Hare Krishna.
What a twist in the climax. Okay, 185. Yeah, 185.
Tatapi apana gane karite savadana bae kichu rosha bhasha kaila bhagavan. Over just to warn his personal associates, Supreme Personality Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, externally expressed feelings of anger, purport. And Maharaja Prataparudra asked to see the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately refutes, saying, Nishkinchas chalasya bhagavad bhajano mukyasya param param jigamushor bhavasagarasya sandarshanam vishayinam ata yoshtitam cha ha hanta visha bakshanto api asadu. The word nishkinchanasya refers to a person who has finished his material activities. Such a person can begin to execute his activities in Krishna consciousness to cross over the ocean of missiles. It's very dangerous for such persons to have intimate relationship with mundane people or to become intimately related with women. This formality is to be observed by anyone who is serious about going back to home, back to Godhead. To teach his personal associate these principles, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressed external anger when touched by the king. Since Lord was very much satisfied with the humble behavior of the king, he intentionally allowed the king to touch, but externally he expressed anger just to warn his personal associates.
So that's the message he is giving. The message to the whole world is, how do you deal with materialistic view of people, but internally had accepted him as a devotee because of his humility and other things. So that's the key message. This message is more towards sannyasis and devotees. So how sannyasis need to act. Okay. Good verse this is. 186.
Hare Krishna. 184.
Rajara Mane Haila Sarvabhauma Kahe Tumina Kara Samasya. King Prataparudra became frightened when Lord Chaitanya showed external anger. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told the king, don't worry.
He said, don't worry, he knows. Okay, 187.
Tomara upare prabhura suprasanna mana toma laksha kari sikayena nijagana. Translation. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya informed the king, the Lord is very satisfied with you. By pointing you out, he was teaching his personal associate how to behave with mundane people. Although outwardly the king was a mundane man interested in money and women, internally he was purified by devotional activities. He showed this by engaging as a street sweeper to please Lord Jagannatha. A person may appear to be a pounds and shillings man interested in money and women, but if he is actually very meek and humble and surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is not mundane. Such a judgment can be made only by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his very confidential devotees. As a general principle, however, no devotee should intimately mix with mundane people interested in money and women. Hare Krishna.
So what are the key messages out of this purport? There are about 3 points. So what are the key messages?
Not mix with the people who are...
No, go sequentially. What's the first point? Do not judge a devotee by his external looks. Okay, we tend to do external look and then judge the devotee. Oh, this devotee is like this. Oh, devotee is like that. Right? Because we do not know the consciousness of the person. The consciousness or what is there in the heart can be understood only by carefully observing his activities. His activities, what he speaks, and what are his priorities. So these 3 will tell the reality of the devotee, but not just external observation. Right? So it's the first point out of this. Is this point clear?
Repeat, Prabhu, once.
Sorry?
Could you repeat, Prabhu? What are the 3 things you said?
The first point only I'm saying.
Yeah. Of the first point, you said 3 aspects.
The first point is, do not judge by his external looks.
Yes, Prabhu.
Purity of that person can be, or the consciousness can be understood by his activities, what he speaks, and what he prioritizes in his life. Right? Kullena Krishna Anusilanam Bhakti Ruttama. Right? So, given a situation, what does he prioritize? Okay? So, that's very important, right? So, what are the 3 things?
The activities of the person, what he speaks, and what he prioritizes in his life.
Yes. So that will tell what is the quality of a devotee, but not by just looking at him from an external point of view. Okay? Okay. So second, what's the second point expressed here? What's the second key point?
Humility here, Prabhu, because...
Yes, humility, correct. He may be a rich man, he may be a powerful man, he may be coming with a great lineage, he may be a very talented and skillful person, but that does not qualify. If he is showing humility, then it guarantees the quality of devotion he has in his heart, right? So, third sloka, 6th section, what did it say? Trinada pisunichena tarorapi sahisnava. Amanina manadena kirtanya sadhari. So that kirtanya sadhari, that means to ability to chant the holy name of the Lord at all times, sada, all times, can happen if the first 3 qualities are achieved. Right? What are the 3 qualities? Showing humility, showing tolerance, give respect for others, and expect no respect for oneself.
Okay.
That is the meaning of that verse.
Yes,
So
yes.
if in that consciousness of humility is there, then that sloka of Trinada Pisunichana is met completely. And here, Prataprudra is demonstrating. Lord is saying he is not mundane. Okay. Then what's the third thing?
Don't associate with the people who are interested in money and
Mundane activities, mundane consciousness. So we should be very careful in associating with such people. Yeah, you can talk to them, you can move around a little bit, no problem, but do not make friendship and relationship on a regular, constant basis. That is very important to understand. They may be our own family members, but still dangerous things persist. That's the key message. Is the message clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Okay,
Prabhu.
so who can answer? What are the three things?
You cannot judge a
Oh,
person.
not you, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu.
One should not judge a person just by appearance, Prabhu.
Okay,
Two is humbleness, humility.
is important. Then
Mm, the,
Not
and the
associate.
association.
what association?
Not
He
associated
should not
with
be associated with material world related people. Only he should associate with devotees of the
Devotees.
Lord.
Material people, he can just transactions he can do, but he cannot associate on a regular basis.
Regular basis.
Okay, clear? Okay, good. So 188, we'll read.
Hare Krishna. Avasara jani ami karibe nivedana sei kale ye kariha prabhura milana. Translation. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya continued. I shall submit your petition when there is an opportune moment. It will then be easy for you to come and meet the Lord. Hare Krishna.
189.
Hare Krishna, text 13.189. Tabe Mahaprabhu Ratha Pradakshina Kariya Ratha Pache Yayital Tele Ratha Mata Diya. After circumambulating Jagannatha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went behind the car and began pushing it with his head.
So this is what happened. So the cart stopped. The cart was not ready to move. Whatever you do, it was not ready to move. So Mahaprabhu went behind, kept his forehead on the cart and just pushed it with his forehead like that. Cart started to move. Okay. 190.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Text 190. Teli chalila rata hada hada kari chaturdike loka sabha bale hari hari. Translation: as soon as he pushed, the car immediately started to move, making a rattling noise. The people all around began to chant the holy name of the Lord.
Hurry, hurry. Superb. So the cart started to move. And that was a great thing. Because they're all worried now. Why Jagannath is not moving? Right? So Jagannath moving itself is a sign of happiness, sign of prosperity, sign of all goodness around. The air is going to be filled with spiritual consciousness. Now Jagannath is moving. Yeah. 191.
191. Tabe Prabhu Nija Bhakta Gana Lana Sange Baladeva Subhadragre Nritya Kare Range. As the car began to move, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his personal associates in front of the cars occupied by Lord Balarama and Subhadra, the goddess of fortune. Greatly inspired, he then began to dance in front of them.
He's just moving. The cart has those three people. It is not that he took those three people. 192.
I'll read, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Text 192. Tanha Nutyakari Jagannatha Age Aila Jagannatha Deki Nutyakari Te Lagila. After finishing the dance before Lord Baladeva and Subhadra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come before Lord Jagannath's car. Upon seeing Lord Jagannatha, he began to dance again. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari. See, actually, you have to break the word. Okay. Taha Nitya Kari Jagan Nata Age Aila. So here you should know, and you should break Jagannatha into two. and connect like that. That is correct. Okay. 193.
I'll read, Prabhu. Chaliya ila Ratha bala gandistane Jagannatha Ratha Raki deke dahine vame. When they reached the place called Balagandi.
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 Lord Jagannath
Means that A should have been double strength. Single strength. So it's Balagandi.
Balagandi. Okay. When they reached the place called Balagandi, Lord Jagannatha stopped his car and began to look left and right.
So Balagandi is a place where a lot of these Brahmanas live. Okay, it is in the same road itself. It is like a, what do you say, a shortened area, you can say. A lot of these Brahmanas live. And these Brahmanas, they worship in the mood of Lakshmi Narayana. So what do? They bring a lot of these coconuts, bananas, these leaves and things like that. And they perform this arati like that. What happened? Okay. Yeah. So they do this and Lord likes it. That means you see all moods are acceptable. So now he wants to accept those seva performed by those Brahmanas. And that's where the cart is stopping now. Okay. So 194.
194. Vame viprasashana narikelavana tahineda pushpatyana yena brundavana. On the left side, Lord Jagannatha saw a neighborhood of Brahmanas and a coconut tree grew. On the right side, he saw nice flower gardens resembling those in the holy place Vrindavana, perpetual. Viprashasana is a word generally used in the Orissa province to indicate the quarters where Brahmanas live. Hare Krishna.
Live. So Vipra means Brahmana. Okay, Viprasashana means a place where Brahmanas live. Okay. So now this is the place where Brahmanas live, and those gardens he saw, that is a Jagannath garden. Right? Okay. So that's where the pastime happens now. So now Mahaprabhu will step out now. Let's see what happens. 195.
Text 13.195. आगे नृत्यकारे गौरा लाना भक्ता गाना रचा राखी जगन्नाथा करेना दर्शना. Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees were dancing in front of the car, and Lord Jagannath, having stopped the car, watched the dancing. Hare Krishna.
I will stop the car, watch the dancing. Okay. 196. Yeah, please take your turn.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Text 196. Sehi stale bhoga lage acha ye niyama koti bhoga Jagannatha kare aswadana. Translation. It was customary that food be offered to the Lord at Viprasashana. Indeed, innumerable dishes of food were offered, and Lord Jagannatha tasted each one of them. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hari. Okay. 197.
जगन्नाथेरा छोटा बड़ा यत भक्त घन निज निज उत्तमा भोगा करे समर्पण.
All kinds of devotees.
All kinds of devotees of Lord Jagannatha, from neophytes to the most advanced, offer their best cooked food to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Well, look at the key. Oh, it doesn't matter, you're very experienced, only you can offer. No, everyone, they express love, and Lord will accept from all of them. And they're making their best cooked food. So whatever dishes they know the best, they're making it. Okay, 198.
Raja Mahishi Vrinda Patra Mitra Gana Nilachala Vasiyata Chota Badajana. Translation. These devotees included the king, his queens, his ministers and friends, and all other big and small residents of Jagannathapuri. Thank you.
Okay. So 199. We'll start again.
Text 199. Nanada deshera deshiyata yatrika jana nija nija bhaga tatrikare samarpana. Translation. All the visitors who had come from the different countries to Jagannath Puri, as well as the local devotees, offered their personally cooked food to the Lord.
Okay. 200. Start again.
Yes. Verse 200. Aage pache dui parsve pushpodhyana vane ehi yaha paya lagaya nahi ka niyame. Translation. The devotees offered their food everywhere, in front of the car and behind it, on the two sides and within the flower garden. Wherever possible, they made their offerings to the Lord, for there were no hard and fast rules.
So all these offerings that was made to the Lord, then they were distributed to all. Right? So that's why for Rath Yatra, what we do, we take one cart along with the Rath. The cart will come behind the Rath only. So all the devotees are overseas, no? They'll all get prasad from that. Right? So this Mahaprasad, which the Lord has tasted, is offered to all the people. Anyone. No rules and regulations, just offered. Okay, 201.
Hare Krishna. Bogera samaya lokera maha bidha haila Rityachari Mahaprabhu upavane gela. While the food was being offered, a large crowd of people gathered. At that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped his dancing and went to a nearby garden. Hare Krishna.
So now the Brahmanas are taking care of the deities because they are performing Aratika ceremony and they are offering a lot of food and everything. So that is actually a festival. So even today, those festival happens in the Rath Yatra. And this is a very, very important, glorious festival that Jagannath gives a specific space for these Brahmanas. Okay? So here again, right? Bogera Samaya Lokera. So here Lokera means no discretion. All personalities, right? So that's what is important. So generally for Rath Yatra, what people do, one is this Done Prasad is given, but at the end of Lord reaching Vrindavana, they'll offer a huge feast to all the devotees. Huge feast, right? With lots and lots of items. That's how Rath Yatra is celebrated. Okay. 202.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Text
So now
202.
Mahaprabhu, what he did? He stopped his dancing. Okay, now Lord is busy. He's accepting this coconuts. He's accepting all these things. So now I want to take my rest, right? Because he's been dancing and dancing. He's taking. So he, on the left-hand side was Vipra Shashana. On the right-hand side is Jagannath Gardens. So he goes to Jagannath Garden to take rest. Actually, here it says right-hand side and left, but in reality, if you see, when the Rath moves from Simhadwar to Gundicha, Jagannath Garden comes on the left side. So I don't know how he says the other side. Does he said other side, no? It's here it said. On the right side, saw nice flower gardens resembling those in the holy place. But it actually is on the right left side. So I don't know how this got changed. Which sloka we have to read?
202 Prabhu.
202, okay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, text 202. Prema Veshe Mahaprabhu Upavana Pana Pushpa Udyane Gruha Pindaya Rahila Padiya.
Pushpa Udyane.
Pushpa Udyane.
No, where is Udyane? No, you are breaking the reading on this in the meaning. So you don't break the reading. Pushpa Udyane. Griha
Prabhu, who is there, Prabhu? Udyane.
Okay, it may be in your local language book and your...
No, Prabhu, mine is English book. Pushpa dash Udyane it is there. But here it is Pushpodhyane. O is there, Prabhu.
Yeah, so when you merge, it looks
but
like...
But the meaning you see, Prabhu, Pushpa Udyane it is.
Yeah, but this is the meaning. But when you read a sloka, you pronounce the way it is typed in the sloka.
Pushpodhyane.
Pushpodhyane.
Pushpodhyane Gruha Pindaya Rahila Padiya. Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the garden and immersed in great ecstatic emotion, fell flat on a raised platform there. Hare Krishna.
So when we went with Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj, he showed that place also, that raised platform where Mahaprabhu actually was sleeping, right? So he showed that, and then, I mean, of course, now it looks like an ordinary thing, but that's the platform where Mahaprabhu lied down. Okay, 203. Yeah, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, text 203. Nritya parishrame prabhura dehe garna garma sugandhi shitala vayu karena sevana. Translation. The Lord was very much fatigued from the hard labor of dancing, and there was perspiration all over his body. He therefore enjoyed the fragrant, cool breeze of the garden. Hare Krishna.
204.
Hare Krishna, text 204. Yeta bhakta kirtaniya asiya arame prati vruksha tale sabe karena vishrame. All the devotees who had been performing Sankirtana came there and took rest under each and every tree. Hare Krishna.
Hare. So today what they do, now this is, you see Ratha Yatra and then people getting tired and then go there and taking rest. So today what people do, we have this inner parikrama, that means all the temples visit. So when we do all the temple visit, they organize one feast at the Jagannath garden. So we all will come there, take rest, take that nice feast and again resume. So like that they have made now. Okay, 205.
Text 205. Eta kaila prabhura maha sankirtana jagannatera agya che karila nartana. Translation.
Thus I have described.
Thus I have described the great performance of congenial chanting by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as he danced in front of Lord Jagannatha. Hare Krishna.
So now this is the place where Pratarudra gets delivered, right? The Jagannath garden, which we will see in the subsequent chapter. Okay, 206.
Hare Krishna. Ratagre te prabhuyaicha karila nartana chaitanyastake rupa gosani karyache varnana. In his prayer, known as Chaitanyastaka, Srila Rupa Goswami has given a vivid description of Lord's dancing before the car of Jagannatha.
Purport?
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Srila Rupa Goswami composed 3 prayers with the title Chaitanyastaka. The verse next quoted is text 7 from the first of the Chaitanyastaka prayers, which are included in the book Stavamala.
Stavamala composed by Rupa Goswami, right? So how many verses he made? 3 prayers titled Chaitanyastaka. So each prayer we don't know how many verses. Okay. So this is at 7th verse. Okay. Who's going to read this?
207. Ratha roda syaradi padavi neela chalapate Adaprape mormismurita natanallasa vivasaha Saharsham gayat bihi parivruta tanur Vaishnava janaihi Sa chaitanyaha kim me punarapi drusyor yashyati padam. Sri Chaitanya Prabhu danced down the main road in great ecstasy before Lord Jagannatha, the master of Nilachala, who was sitting on his car, overwhelmed by the transcendental bliss of dancing and surrounded by Vaishnavas who sang the holy names. He manifested waves of ecstasy love of Godhead. When will Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again be visible to my vision? Hare Krishna.
Okay, who's composing this verse?
Rupa Goswami.
Okay. 208.
Hare Krishna. Next.
208. इहा ये शून्य से ही श्री चैतन्य पाया सुदृढ़ विश्वास सह प्रेम भक्ति आया. Translation: praying at the lotus feet of
Yeah, Haribol, where are you? Anyone who hears this description,
anyone who hears this description of the car festival will attain Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He will also attain the elevated state by which he will have firm conviction in devotional service and love of Godhead.
Haribol.
so did you all hear the car festival completely?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So how many of you attended all the classes and read all the 208 slokas, 209 slokas?
Almost all, Prabhu.
Vishnu Priya.
And you have narrated everything, Prabhu, from beginning to end, Prabhu.
And this chapter alone, I've read many times.
Yes.
One from Chaitanya Charitamrita. I've read from other books also. I've also heard Maharaja lecture on this. It attracts me so much. So much.
Haribol.
I just love this pastime alone.
Hari Hari. Thank you, Prabhu. Haribol.
Yeah. Okay. 209.
Hare
Shri
Krishna.
Rupa Raghunatha Pad. Okay, read Mother. Sorry.
Prabhuji, next I'll take Prabhuji.
Oh, read.
Shri Rupa Raghunatha Padeyara Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Dasa. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunatha, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishna Dasa, narrate Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports to Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 13th chapter, describing Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic dancing at Lord Jagannatha's car festival. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari. Okay. So now let's summarize. So what is the first aspect of this chapter 13? Madhya Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Ratha Yatra pastimes. Okay. Each of you can tell one point. Go from first till end. Give me at a summary level. Don't give details. Just one half line bullets. So what is the first thing that happened? Oh, now comes the toughest part, Prabhu. What's the first thing happened?
Thing is like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees the deities being loaded, being kept on the carts, Prabhu.
No, before that.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his all associates, they get up and take bath early morning. That's the starting.
Before that?
Pandu Vijaya.
Before that?
Before that.
What's the first part of this Ratha Yatra pastime?
Gundicha Marjanam, Prabhu.
No, don't go there. So now, Mahaprabhu is very pleased where he invited devotees from the north, from Vrindavan, from the southern states, from the lower portion of Jharkhand state, then the villages around Puri. All these people he invites, and all of them, they arrive. And he is very pleased to see Kashi Mishra has been put in charge to give all of them accommodation, prasadam, and this. And he's very pleased to understand the mood of Prataprudra to care for all his devotees. And how did he care? He cared by ensuring that everyone were garlanded on reception, and everyone were given equal accommodation, and everyone were given the same prasadam, not distinguishing high, low, that, this, nothing. All of them were fed sumptuously and touched Mahaprabhu's heart. Right? First part. Then the event starts. Various devotees come, take association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and getting ready for the Ratha Yatra festival. So previous day evening, they all go visit Lord, right? To see his eyes after the Anavasara ceremony, right?
Netra darshan.
So they see the Lord. Then he witnesses the morning Pandi Seva, where the deities are brought to the Rath. So then what happens? Then what happens? They all forgot.
Okay, don't know what to answer.
So Pratapruta comes, right? What does he do?
He
He
will clean
sprinkles
the
sandalwood water all over, everywhere, right? To cool down the whole thing. Then what does he do? Then what does he do?
Broomstick with a
Prataprutra takes
Takes the golden broomstick and sweeps the streets.
After that, only sprinkling of the with sandalwood scented water.
So that's what happens. Okay, then what happens? So can we do one thing? Can you all write down, by seeing also no problem, just write down in 1 page or half page, just in simple bulleted format. Okay, first happened, second this, just write the sequence once. If you write it once, you will remember this forever.
Yes,
Never forget. So you have to write, you also write, for example, the 7 parties formation, how the Rath stopped, how the Rath moved, how Jagannath was looking left side, right side. He was astonished by the Mahaprabhu's dancing and movement around the Rath. Who are all the leads, who are singers, how many parties formed, and how Mahaprabhu danced. So like that, you can just write one line, 7 groups formed. These are all the leads. Mahaprabhu danced like this, right? So then the dancing pastime you establish. You establish the ring of fire pastime. Then you can write about the conversation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna, Radharani and Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath, Radharani and Krishna, about Radharani coming and quoting key important elements, asking Krishna to come back to Vrindavan. Right? So similarly, Mahaprabhu is asking Jagannath, going to Vrindavan. And then conclude that how that is the Rath Yatra that's been celebrated today. Right? So you can write 1 or 2 bullets. I don't even want paragraphs, just bullets. This is for your own benefit that you'll understand sequence. So then you capture all the events in the Rath Yatra pastimes. You also capture other events like how Srivas Thakur, right? He got angry when he was pushed. He turned around and slapped the servant of King Prataprutra. So then what's the mood? So that all those events like that happen. Then Mahaprabhu's, then after this conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath, which is Krishna and Radha. So Krishna says, okay, he quotes the most famous verse, and then he says, I will come to Vrindavan. Why? Because your devotion is attracting me so much that I'm coming. So now here is concluding that Jagannath is going to Vrindavan. So then this cart had stopped because of this conversation. Mahaprabhu did. He went around behind the cart and pushed the cart to the side. Cart started to move. Then it stopped in Vipra Shashana. Then the Brahmanas offered. Then we had Jagannath garden pastime. So till then, you can write one bullet. So you can write in 1 page and you can just publish in the group. When you publish, people who didn't write, they'll get motivated to publish, right? So just write like that and mug up this entire pastime. At least the sequence of events in your heart. So you'll exactly know. You don't need to mug up slokas, nothing. At least sequence of events. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. That's it. Key players, key slokas, Rupa Goswami, Sarvadhamada Goswami, all those things. Here only Tava Kathamritam, Tapta Jivan, that also happened. So all those things. Right? You would have perfected chapter 13. Okay. So did you all enjoy?
Very much, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is a wonderful pastime. Okay. So now, do you want to do this performance of Vrindavan pastimes? This is, I'll just show you this one. So, for example, we finished returned, Beda Kirtana Pastimes done. Now, we didn't do Gundicha temple. That chapter 12 we didn't do. So, we skipped to 13, ecstatic dancing of the Lord. Then, performance of Vrindavan, pastime is where deliverance of King Prataparudra. This is when 14. Then, after that, the pastimes at house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So, technically, 13 and 14 they go together. So, do you want to do 14? Or what do you feel?
That will get left over, no, Prabhu, Gundicha temple. That will be short also. We can finish off. Hardly 200 verses.
Everything is 200. So we can either do 14 or we can go back to 12. Or we can go back to our 30th one, which we are ready to finish now. That residence of Varanasi. So can we finish chapter 25? Because residence of Varanasi, we are halfway. We can just finish it off. We can come. So what do you want to do? You want to do 14, then come back to 25 or 12, or what do you want to do?
It will be continuous, no, Prabhu, if we can finish Gundicha temple.
Okay, can we do voting?
Yeah.
Okay. Pawan Prabhu, how do you do voting here? Oh, there is voting no here.
Yeah, Prabhu. I think you will be having an option.
That's what I'm saying. Hide floating, hide enable, annotators for others.
Yeah, Prabhu. Actually, you have to do before starting also. We cannot do now.
Nothing, huh? Okay. Can you type in the chat box? So you type whether you want to do chapter 12 next, or whether you want to do chapter 14, or you want to do chapter 25, which is finishing the previous one. So 12, 14, or 25. Which one you want? Start typing. Thank you. Okay, we got 14, 12, 14, 14, 12. All of you, please respond. We need to get 19 responses. Wow, we're hitting 14. Okay, so then we'll do 14 based on popular response. After 14, we'll come back to 12. So that means we'll finish the cluster and then move on. Is that okay?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So, but next week onwards, we will, Tuesdays, we'll resume back our 10th canto Bhagavatam. Fridays, we'll resume back our Chaitanya Charitamrita. And tomorrow, we'll all see you morning for Canto 1, Chapter
2. Chapter 2.
Chapter 2, Divine and Divine Service, right? So finish Chapter 2, and then we'll move to Chapter 3. Okay. Thank you.
Prabhu, Sunday will be starting chapter 5 no Prabhuji Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. Can we talk, Prabhu? Suni Prabhu, are you there? Is he there?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, now immediately after this class, can you, me, and Pawan talk for 2 minutes? Conference.
Okay. If you keep on talking, yes.
Okay. Thank you all. Grandhara Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Vanchakalpatarobhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Vaishnav Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dhanasma.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.